right, Math 8 peeps. This is Mr. Frechette back in action. It's been a while since I've been on YouTube. So we have to talk about equations. All right, equations are like the foundation of what you're going to be doing in math at least the next couple of years. It's very important that we understand the process and come up with a way to solve these equations or solve for the unknown variable in a way that's going to help you progress and move through your math careers as a student. So that's what we're going to look at today. You're probably like, oh my God, Mr. Frechette, what is this concoction? Well, this is Mr. Frechette's, solving equations box template. So this is exactly what it is. Hopefully this gets you a better understanding or maybe a visualization as to what's happening when we solve equations. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about, if you look at the bottom corner or the bottom left corner has a mnemonic device. Okay, that's pretty similar to what we talk about. You guys have heard PEMDAS before, or Please Accuse My Dear Aunt Sally. I remember that from my math teachers back in the day, which we all know is order of operations, and it's parentheses, exponents, multiplication, divide, add, and subtract. Okay, so we're going to reverse that, and we're going to do order of operations in reverse. And this is called DC SADME, and this is what you use, and I know you've heard it before from Mrs. Franks, if you had her as a math teacher in 7th grade. And I believe also Mrs. Kinney and Miss McKeachik had also mentioned it as well. And I believe if you have Mrs. Dombrowski, she also references this. But I'm going to show you this. DC SADME, what does it stand for? So let's get an example problem up here so we know exactly what's going on. So what color are we going to go with today? Let's go with, my favorite these days is blue, right? Batavia Blue Devil Blue. So that's what we'll do. We'll go here. And what I want to do is we're going to go with a multiple stepper so we can use all these steps. So in this box, I'm just going to add terms. That's what I'm going to do. And my operation will add. And my other term is going to be 5x. And I don't have an inequality sign, so we're not going to talk about inequality signs. We'll talk about that later. We have an equal sign. And what is that all going to equal? Let's come up with a nice even number. So let's go 48, right? So let's go through our process. Distributive property. Distributive property is the sharing property. It's multiplication, and it's sharing when you see parentheses. And that's why I have multiplication in parentheses. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take my pink, because that represents the distributive property, and I'm going to share that 3 with the x and the 8. Now, keep in mind, in front of that x is an invisible 1. You always need to remember that, right? If you need your calculator, that's great. You shouldn't need your calculator for this, but if you do, that is fine. So what's going to end up happening is this should get smaller, but because this box setup is not exactly like a smaller equation, this is going to be a little bit bigger. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to go 3 times 1 is 3x. 3 times 8 is 24, so that's plus 24. And we still have our plus here. And we also need to bring down our 5x because that's still there as well. So I'll just draw a little arrow here to bring it down. I also got to bring down my equal sign, and I also got to bring down what it's equal to. Remember, we have multiple terms here. We have 3 terms. Terms are separated by an operation sign. So we have 3 terms on the left side, and you have 1 term on the right, right? So we have a coefficient of 3 and a coefficient of 5. That's a number in front of a variable. We have 2 constant terms in this second line. It's 24 and 48. So keep that in mind when you're going through this. It's a building block. These all build on one another. So the idea that a coefficient exists, terms exist, variables exist, that's not going to go away. So we need to continue to break this equation down. And the way to do that is through our next one. And that's highlighted in like a blue color. And that's called combine like terms. That's what the C stands for. Like terms are the things that are the same that we can group together. So we've done this one. Now we're going on to combine like terms. So combine like terms here would be the 3x and the 5x. And combining like terms involves addition and subtraction. So 3x plus 5x is 8x. And as the arrow says here, we want to bring down the 24. So it's plus 24. It equals still 48. So you notice our equation is getting smaller and smaller. Right now we have 3 terms, okay? And we have the 8x, the 24, the 48. Our coefficient is the 8. Our variable is still the x. And our constant term or our numbers are 24 and 48. So we've done that, combine like terms. Now, inverse operations. Subtraction and addition in red go hand in hand. They go together. So it looks like I have plus 24. So what's the opposite of adding 24? Well, yes, it's subtraction. So I'm going to subtract 24 from both sides. And when I subtract 24 from both sides, this creates a zero pair. These cancel out, right? So what do I have left? I got to bring my 8x down. So my 8x is down here. And that equals, what is 48 minus 24? Well, if you got your calculator out, and it's okay if you do, 48 minus 24 should be 24, right? A positive 24. So we're not done yet. Let me take my red. We're done with subtraction and we're done with addition. Now we have the DM, or the division and multiplication. But we have to understand when we have a coefficient and a variable next to each other, like we do in 8x, we actually have multiplication. There's kind of like that invisible, and I'm going to go back to blue, there's that like invisible multiplication sign right there. So to undo multiplication, we got to divide. So that's where the D comes in. So we're going to divide each side by 8, right? I'm going to cross these off because we're just about done. And these 8's cancel. 8 divided by 8 is 1, and that makes perfect sense because there is 1x left. We just don't write that invisible coefficient up front. So I'm going to move over here. X is going to equal, what is 24 divided by 8? Well, 24 divided by 8 is 3. Okay? So when I do that, I get x equals 3. Now, the last thing here in purple, we have exponents. Do we have any exponents here? We do not have any exponents to mess around with. So this is an automatic check. Okay? So, what I want to show you really quick, just for an added bonus, is a check over here. If we write our original equation of 3 times x plus 8 plus 5x equals 48, and we now know our unknown, which is our variable x. X is 3. So 3 times 3 plus 8 plus 5 times 3 should equal 48. And we got 48 in there. So we're going to do what's in parentheses first. That's 3 times 11. 5 times 3 is 15. And that's 48. So if we go through and check this, 33 plus 15 should be 48 equals 48. Okay, so that's a quick check. You know, if I'm a student and I know how to check, I really don't need the teacher. I know whether I'm right or I'm wrong. But this is solving equations in a nutshell, and this is with our DC SADME strategy. So let us know, send us an email, make a comment on Google Classroom, or touch base with us in class. This is Mr. Frechette, out. Have a great Tuesday afternoon.